Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to see a topic on the dental anatomy. That is, today we are going to learn about the first evidence of calcification, the eruption and root completion of a primary tooth. Okay, I'll just tell you how easily you can remember the weeks or the months and years of the primary tooth. So, today we are going to study about the primary tooth. First, let's start with the maxilla. Alright, first we are starting with the maxilla. So in this, what we are going to see is first evidence of calcification. So it's really difficult to remember, right? The evidence of calcification, eruption and root completion. So I'll just tell you how easily you can remember this. This is very simple actually. First evidence of calcification in weeks, then eruption status, okay, of each tooth, that is in months, and the root completion. Alright, root completion. That is also we are gonna learn in years. Okay, this is gonna be in weeks, this is in months, and this is in years. So first tooth always is the central incisor, then lateral incisor. Alright, and then comes the canine, first molar and the second molar. So please remember, first will be the central incisor, lateral incisor, canine, first molar and the second molar. So how can you remember this? Always the evidence of calcification starts from 14 to 19 weeks. Just remember that one first, okay? It always starts from first evidence of calcification, it starts from 14 to 19 weeks. So, all the numbers will be inside this, that is 14 to 19. Okay, so it starts from 14, central incisor, and the last one, second molar, will be 19 weeks. So, you just have to remember this. And which tooth erupts after central incisor? All of us know that it's gonna be the first molar. So after 14, the 15 comes in the first molar. Okay, it is around 15 and a half weeks. Okay, first one starts from 14th and the last one will be 19th. And we all of us know after central incisor, the first molar of the primary tooth erupts first. So the 15 goes here, 15 and a half weeks. Then you can enter the remaining thing, that is 16 and 17. That is it. Isn't it very simple? The first evidence of calcification. First you can put the 14th and the last one will be the 19th. And we all of us know after central incisor first molar erupts. So it will be 15 and a half. And then you can write it as 16 and 17. That is it. Now moving on to the eruption. That is we are going to see in months. Okay, so the first number you always put as 1. Okay, for every tooth it will be 1 1 1, and for second molar just write 2 here, second molar. Okay, everyone, the first number will be 1, and for the second molar you have to write it as 2. Now, central incisor, it starts with 0. So, put a 0 here. Now, how can you remember the remaining tooth? So, do you all know when the man landed on the moon first? Just think and tell me. When the man landed on the moon first? I hope you have got the answer. Yeah, it will be 1969, right? So man landed on the moon first around 1969. So just remember this. Remaining you have to write it the same way. 1969. That is it. These are the eruption of the maxillary tooth. That is in months. So first write as 111. Only for the second molar you have to write it as 2. Then starts with 0. Then remember the man landed on the moon first. That is 1969. So the eruption status of the maxillary primary tooth is done. Okay. Now coming to the root completion that we are going to tell in the years. Okay, root completion that we are going to tell in the years. So the root completion mostly of the central incisor completes around 1 year. Okay, so you can write it as 1.5 years. In the same way, here just write it as 1, 2, 3 and just remove the 1 and write as 2, 3. That's it. 1, 2, 3 in the order. Just erase 1 and write it as 2, 3. So 1.5 years, 2 years, and this will be around 3, almost completion, then 2.5 years. That is it. These are the root completion of a maxillary primary tooth. That is 1.5 years, 2, then 3 1/4, 2.5 years, and 3 years. I think this is very easy to remember. And you can remember this very easily. So these are the evidence of calcification, eruption status and the root completion of the maxillary primary tooth. Now coming to the eruption status, evidence of calcification and root completion of the mandibular primary tooth. So it is also the same. Always remember, the evidence of calcification starts from 14 to 19 weeks. So first one will be 14 and last one will be 19. Okay. And as we all know, the next tooth which erupts will be the 15. That is the first molar. So put it as 15. 15.5 years almost. Okay. So the next tooth which erupts after central incisor will be the first molar. That is, you can put as 15. That is 15.5 weeks. Then remaining is the 16 and 17. So this second molar, mostly for maxilla you can put as 19 weeks. And here you have to change it as 18. Okay, that is the only difference in the mandible. First evidence of calcification. Just write 14 and last will be 19 minus 1. For maxilla it will be 19 and for mandible it is 18. And now after central incisor first molar erupts. So 15 will be here. Then put the remaining here 16 and 17. So the first evidence of calcification starts from 14. Then the last one you can mark it as 18. After central incisor, the first molar erupts, so it is 15. The remaining, you can put it here, 16 and 17. Alright. Now, let's move on to the eruption status of the mandibular primary tooth. So now the eruption status of the mandibular primary tooth. Now, this you have to go back the maxilla. Now the eruption status of the mandibular primary tooth. Now you have to go back to the maxillary primary tooth, read well and then come here. Okay. So remember, for the maxillary first molar, for maxillary first molar, we have written it as 16, right? So here also the first molar will have the same, that is 16 ones. I have told you 1969. So the first molar had 16, right? So the mandibular first molar also has the same 16. Now starts with the central incisor. Here we have written 18. So the same 8 you have to write it here. That is 8 months. Now what we are going to do is, from the maxillary primary tooth, we are we are going to just increase it and write for the mandible. So mandibular, primary lateral incisors. For the maxillary, primary lateral incisor, we have written it as 11. Now just increase to write it as 13. And for maxillary, primary canine, we have written it as 19. Now for the mandibular canine, we have to write it as 20. There 19, here 20. There 11, here 13. Okay. And for the second molar, for the maxillary primary tooth, we have written it as 29. Now here we are gonna reduce it to 27. Okay. So this first molar always remains the same for the maxillary as well as the mandibular primary tooth. And the same 8 gonna come here. There 11, here 13, there 19, here 20, and there 29, here 27. That is about the eruption status of the mandibular primary tooth. Now coming to the root completion. So same, start here like. So coming to the mandibular root completion. Starts with 1. There you have written 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Now 1, 1, 3, 2, 3. There it is 1, 2, 3. Here it is 1, 1, 3. That is the difference. Okay. And same. This is 1.5 years. This is 1.5 years. This is going to be the same. 3, 1 by 4 and 2.5 years. Almost the maxillary and mandibular root completion is almost the same. This is also the same, this is also the same, this is also the same, and also this. Only this one in maxilla you will write as 2 years for lateral incisor, and for the mandible you have to write it as 1.5 years. Okay, so that is the difference. So this is about the first evidence of calcification and eruption and the root completion of the primary tooth. So just remember, this is easy for you to remember. And it is very important for us to know the eruption status and the root completion of the primary tooth, isn't it? So I hope you have liked this video. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share the video and subscribe the channel. So thank you for watching. Thank you.